This is Rummy's Corner. So apparently it's happening. April 29th, in front of what I assume will be tens of thousands of screaming fans at Wembley Stadium. The long-awaited battle for undisputed heavyweight supremacy. Oof, maron. The long and drawn-out negotiations for this one are like something out of a brilliantly bizarre David Lynch film, with many fans passionately invested in every twist and turn along the way. Some fans have been complaining that Fury is ducking the bout by making unreasonable demands. Other fans have been complaining that Usyk is the B-side and that he has been pricing himself out of the fight. But I half suspect this was all, at least in part, some gigantic charade from both teams to help generate fan interest. Because these days, fans seem just as enthralled by drawn-out negotiations as they are with the fights themselves. But none of that seems to matter now. The important thing is that the fight is reportedly happening, and it's about damn time. We have not had an undisputed world heavyweight boxing champion in more than 20 damn years. And frankly, that's absolutely disgusting. And it just goes to illustrate how the great abundance of alphabet soup has largely crippled fan interest in recent decades. The last undisputed world heavyweight champion was the great Lennox Lewis. Lennox earned that distinction when he beat Evander Holyfield back in November 1999. And even way back then, his undisputed championship reign was short-lived, because the WBA stripped Lennox a few months later when he defended against the universally recognized #1 contender of the time, Michael Grant, which was the best fight that could be made at that point. But the WBA wanted Lewis to fight John Ruiz, whose big claim to fame back then was the fact he was stopped in a mere 19 seconds by David Tua. And that was the last undisputed world heavyweight champion. And by the time this fight happens, it will have been 23 years and 2+ weeks since Lennox reigned as the baddest man on the planet. Vladimir Klitschko and Vitaly Klitschko understandably never wanted to square off when they effectively reigned as co-champions between 2008 and 2012. And then more recently, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder both bottled it when they had the opportunity. And more recently still, AJ and Fury were unable to make it happen before AJ's run at the top was abruptly derailed by the Ukrainian sensation. Prior to this 23-year-long horrendous gap, the longest previous gap without an undisputed world heavyweight champion was 10 years. Leon Spinks held the distinction when he upset Muhammad Ali in 1978, and Iron Mike Tyson earned the distinction 10 years later in 1988 when he stopped Michael Spinks in round 1 to earn a valid claim to the lineage to go along with the 3 major alphabet titles in his day. But here we are, 2023, and as I understand it, Fury and Usyk have agreed on a 70-30 split in Tyson Fury's favor, I believe with the caveat that Fury has to donate some money to the Ukrainian cause. So Fury won in terms of the art of the deal in the negotiating battle, but Usyk may well have won the hearts of more boxing fans due to his willingness to compromise and accept his status as the B-side for a chance at heavyweight glory. But none of that really matters, because the real battle will take place inside the squared circle on April 29th at Wembley Stadium in front of tens of thousands of screaming fans. Usyk is widely viewed as the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world today, and he's universally recognized as one of the very best cruiserweights of all time alongside Evander "Real Deal" Holyfield during the relatively brief history of the cruiserweight division. Usyk became the first undisputed world cruiserweight champion during the modern 4-belt era when he defeated Murat Gassiev in a unification bout for all the cruiserweight marbles back in July 2018, which was the final matchup in the cruiserweight edition of the World Boxing Super Series. Usyk made one defense of the undisputed cruiserweight crown when he stopped Tony Bellew before making the jump to heavyweight. His first fight after making the jump was a 7th-round stoppage win against Chaz Witherspoon in October 2019. Usyk had his next fight a year later when he won a 12-round unanimous decision against Derek Chisora. Usyk's next fight happened in September 2021, when he challenged the unified IBF WBA WBO heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. Despite being the smaller man, Usyk put on a sensational display in the art of hitting without getting hit, and he outclassed AJ with superior boxing ability and intelligence to win a 12-round unanimous decision to win the championship. Last August, Usyk and AJ had an immediate rematch. Joshua put forth a better effort this time around, but it wasn't enough, as he was once again outboxed and outthought by Usyk. And this time Usyk was awarded a split decision victory, where one judge inexplicably scored the fight for AJ. Tyson Fury's journey for heavyweight glory dates back more than 7 years, when he challenged one of the most dominant and longest reigning champions in history, Vladimir Klitschko. That was way back in November 2015, and to the surprise of many, Tyson Fury expertly neutralized the potent offense of Dr. Steelhammer in a 12-round unanimous decision victory that earned him the unified IBF WBO WBA heavyweight crown. Fury also earned the distinction of becoming the rightful lineal world heavyweight champion, a distinction he still holds to this day, having never lost. Fury was ultimately stripped of and/or vacated those titles when he was out of action for over 2 years before making a comeback in June 2018. Since that time, Fury is best known for his tremendous trilogy against Deontay Wilder. Fury entered the trilogy with a valid claim to the lineage, and Wilder as a long-reigning WBC champion. The first fight in December 2018 ended in a bit of a controversial draw, where Fury outboxed Wilder for the majority of the contest, but he was dropped twice, including once dramatically in the 12th and final round. In their rematch, Fury stopped Wilder in a dominant effort to win the WBC belt. And their third fight was an absolutely wild encounter, where both boxers were dropped multiple times before Fury ultimately stopped Wilder in round 11. That one was an instant classic for the ages. Fury has since made 2 more title defenses, beating Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora inside the distance. And here we are. Tyson Fury is the reigning WBC and lineal world heavyweight champion, and Oleksandr Usyk is the reigning unified IBF WBA WBO heavyweight champion. The historic importance of this fight cannot be overstated, where the winner of this showdown will produce the first undisputed world heavyweight champion since the great Lennox Lewis 23 damn years ago. So who will win? Usyk is a tremendous talent who has already made his mark in boxing history, regardless of what happens in this fight. His resume at cruiserweight alone created a boxing legacy in itself. One of only 2 truly undisputed champions in cruiserweight history, and the only one in the modern 4-belt era, where him and Holyfield, depending on one's preference, those are undoubtedly the 2 most accomplished cruiserweights of all time. The fact that Usyk has been dominant through 4 fights at heavyweight, including the tremendous championship wins against the highly regarded AJ, is just something that amplifies an already great career. A victory over Fury would undoubtedly add exponential growth to Usyk's career standing. Indeed, it would make him a modern-day legend beyond reproach. And with a super talented guy like Usyk, who boxes so incredibly well, with an overwhelming drive to win, and a general overall toughness to go along with his great abundance of skills and talent, you can never ever count him out entirely. Usyk is a mighty tricky customer, who is very active out of that southpaw stance, and he is very smart and efficient with everything he does in the ring, all with the end goal of outboxing and outmaneuvering his foes. His skill set is supreme to the point that outboxing and outfighting much bigger men is something we have already seen him do with great success, the 2 bouts against AJ being the notable examples. And against a strong, skilled guy like AJ, not only was Usyk able to expertly outbox a bigger man, but he took AJ's best shots in stride, and he proved he had his own reserve of firepower when he was able to stun and hurt the bigger man as well. All of that talent combined with heart, courage, and determination spells trouble for any heavyweight, and you can never count Usyk out. But all the same, I have a very difficult time envisioning a winning scenario here for Usyk. I'm usually on the fence about big matchups, but not this one. I genuinely believe that Tyson Fury is going to prove a step literally too big for Usyk. Usyk proved against AJ that a great smaller boxer can beat a very good bigger boxer. But for this particular matchup, I think as the old saying goes, a great big man beats a great smaller man. And as great as Usyk is, I believe Fury represents the first truly great opponent for the talented two-division champion. Even though Usyk clearly beat AJ in both encounters, Joshua's style was never one that had the versatility to adapt well on the fly. While AJ knew how to use his size to his advantage in certain situations, he was never able to do so in those fights when he was clearly being outboxed and outsmarted by a master boxer. In other words, Joshua doesn't know how to fight physically, and this is an area where Tyson Fury excels. Beyond that, Fury himself is an extremely versatile boxer who knows how to change things up to his advantage on the fly. We've seen Fury dominate the action boxing on the outside, where his impeccable understanding of range and distance can dictate the entire rhythm and pace of a contest. Prime examples of this are his masterclass effort where he totally shut down the powerhouse methodical offense of Vladimir Klitschko, and also the first fight with Wilder, where the two knockdowns aside, Fury was generally controlling the action to his liking. But we have also seen Fury dominate fights in the trenches, where he uses his physical size and advantage to attack an opponent and smother his counterattacks. The Wilder rematch is the prime example here, and then in the third encounter with Wilder, Fury used a bit of everything to ultimately beat Wilder down both mentally and physically. As great as Usyk is in nearly every facet of the game, and despite the fact that in a true pound-for-pound sense, Usyk is generally believed to be the one with the greater overall boxing talent and ability, Fury is no slouch in these areas either. Same thing with heart and courage and determination and a sheer will to win. Usyk has these attributes in great abundance, but so does Tyson Fury. You don't get up off the canvas 4 times against a lethal puncher like Wilder, unless you have that stuff that all great champions have inside of them, an unquantifiable inner fortitude that makes champions battle on when others would cave. As intelligent as Usyk is, with incredible fighting instincts and a brilliant understanding of range and distance, Fury possesses the very same brilliance. If there is one thing I can reasonably guarantee about this fight, barring a freak cut or injury or something like that, is that if Fury is getting thoroughly outboxed by Usyk in the manner AJ was being outboxed, Fury will change his approach and make things more physical in a way that Usyk has never experienced. We saw this type of thing years and years ago when Fury was dropped by Cunningham and he went into mauling mode. But Fury is smart, sure to have learned from that type of experience, where even then he adjusted on the fly, and since that time Fury has improved his inside game in tight quarters tremendously, since he first teamed up with Sugar Hill for the Wilder rematch. Beyond that, Fury is clever in ways that Usyk has never experienced from a top-level heavyweight. Fury is a master of feinting, a very underrated and versatile skill set, where his mesmerizing herky-jerky movement always keeps his opponents guessing. Like Usyk, Fury is very studious in his approach, studying the reactions of an opponent where he can later exploit a weakness by setting a trap. A good example of this was the fight against Dillian Whyte, where he was gauging Whyte's reactions to set up the beautiful fight-ending uppercut. To repeat what I said earlier, Usyk proved a great smaller man could beat a very good big man, but I think Tyson Fury will prove too big, too physically strong, and equally clever and skilled to the point that the size advantage, with all else being a wash, will prove too much for Usyk. Again, you can never count Usyk out. Usyk has already proven that he's special, and he's already proven to be a great boxing talent. And you can indeed make a strong case that Usyk is the most talented boxer Fury will have ever faced. But it's the flip side of that coin that I believe carries much greater weight, no pun intended. So for my official prediction, I like Tyson Fury in this one. I don't think it will be easy because Usyk has too many things going for him, but I suspect that Fury might start making it look easy when we get into the second half of the fight. I just think Fury's size and versatility will be able to neutralize any spells of success celebrated by Usyk. And make no mistake, Usyk will have some moments, particularly early on where I expect him to leave Fury looking clumsy and oafish. And indeed, Fury might look clumsy and oafish for much of the fight. But the problem for Usyk will be that despite Fury at times looking ugly, he's almost always effective where there is a method behind the madness. So I'm taking Tyson Fury, and while I think Usyk might well go the distance, I like Fury late, let's say by 11th round stoppage. I just think the size will prove to be a big deciding factor, and Fury knows how to utilize every advantage he has, where he has a lot of tools in that toolbox. So I am taking Tyson Fury by round 11 stoppage. But then again, what the hell do I know? I ain't exactly Quasimodo over here. Indeed, my track record for fight predictions suck out loud, especially when it comes to my heavyweight predictions. But I genuinely believe that Fury will win the big fight, and in doing so, I believe that Tyson Fury will become the first undisputed world heavyweight champion since the great Lennox Lewis. But whatever happens, I am ridiculously fired up for this one, and may the best man win on that night. So who do you think will win the big-time showdown for undisputed heavyweight supremacy between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful night. This is Rummy's Corner.
You know, Quasimodo predicted all this.